Hello and welcome to yet another edition of An English Guy Watching Wrestling. I'm an English guy, I'm Nick. Thank you so much for clicking on the video, I really do appreciate it. And we're going to be reviewing today this week's edition of AEW Dynamite, which took place on the 3rd of February 2021. So, with that being said, let's jump right into review. Opening match was a tag team battle royal where the winning team would become the number one contenders for the AEW World Tag Team Champions. Now, what was interesting about this is the Young Bucks, the current champions, entered themselves into the match. So if they won the match, they would pick who they would face to contend for the titles. And the rules were, if one wrestler from one team was eliminated, the other wrestler that was maybe on that team to begin with was still part of it. So in previous Battle Royals or Royal Rumbles, whatever you want to call it, if one particular member of the tag team was eliminated, both members would be out. Not so much here. And of course, it made for very interesting pairings, obviously, against one wrestler or vice versa. Now, it was interesting that the Young Bucks entered themselves into this match because last year they won it and they became the number one contenders. And I think that led on to the absolutely outstanding match with them versus Kenny Omega and Hangman Page. And no joke, if you've never seen the Young Bucks versus Hangman Page and Omega for the AEW tag titles, watch it. It's one of the best tag matches I've ever seen. It's just mind-blowing. But no, they entered themselves into this match, and I can tell you this, they didn't win the tag team battle royal. The MJF and Chris Jericho did, of course, members of the Inner Circle, and of course, continuing their momentum for the AEW tag titles and building a little more dissension within the Inner Circle of Sammy Guevara. So it's been really cool to see that storyline. But this was a good opening battle royal, which sometimes you see in battle royals, in particular tag team ones or wrestlers, maybe one or two feuds building between one or two ones there. And I kind of saw it a little bit, maybe happening with the Inner Circle and Dark Order. Now, I don't know if they're ever going to feud, but I'd love to see it because the two biggest groups in AEW clashing, I'd like to see that. But actually, this was a good battle royal as well. Some really cool moments and really cool to see one of my favourite tag teams at the moment, Top Flight, get into the final part of the match. They weren't. It was only. I think it was. Yes, it was. I think it was Darius was the last man left for his team. But the Acclaimed coming in before the match started, upstaging MJF and Chris Jericho. Their entrance was great, and this was a good battle royal to begin with, and some really cool moments, and actually cool to see this maybe inner workings of feuds, maybe inside the battle royal that may expand. A few happen here, and I'd like to see that continue, to be completely honest. But battle royals, I really like. I mean, I'm a Royal Rumble fan, and I always love Rumble matches, but it's a battle royal match, a little bit different. All of them start at the same time. Nothing wrong with that. Good, decent battle royals to open up, and I think the right team won this because it's obviously the continuation of MJF and Chris Jericho is going to be ongoing, I think. So, battle royal, all good stuff. Second match was a very first time ever meeting between Thunder Rosa and Britt Baker. Now, this match had been building for a while in terms of the feud, and I was literally looking forward to this matchup because I knew that two fantastic female wrestlers were going to have a great match, and they did. This was a superb match, to be honest. I really loved the work rate from both women. Britt Baker working on the shoulder, which she does as part of the lockjaw submission, but Thunder Rosa came back and was doing her own working on body parts, and it was a really good back and forth match, to be honest. There was no real clear cut, one person is better than the other, and it worked to the betterment of betterment. I don't know if betterment's a word, but it is now for this review. It's a word, but it really worked for this match. I thought both women put a superb performance, and the way the match ended, I think, is going to continue on, and I'm all for it. This was two of the best female wrestlers in AEW, if not the world right now. I would say, actually, I've said the Thunder Rosa. I'm not sure if she's signed to AEW, but you get the idea. Excuse me. And this was just a superb match. And the way the match ended, Reba, who is Britt Baker's, I would say associate, removed the second turnbuckle pad. Referee didn't see it. Thunder Rosa got driven onto it by Britt Baker, locked in the lockjaw, passed out. So she never tapped out or never, she basically just couldn't continue the match. And it's that kind of ending I thought they're going to continue, and I want it to continue because the feud between these two has been great, to be honest, to watch. In terms of what they've been doing in promos, what they've been doing in little parts of vignettes and whatever. I want to see it's going to carry on, and I really think the way this ended, it's going to do that, so can't fault that. Next matchup was the most unusual match on the whole pay-per-view, because I say, why do you want to pay-per-view? Well, because it was a big show for AEW. But basically, Hangman Page and Matt Hardy versus Chaos Project. Now, those who watched Dynamite last week know that Matt Hardy made an offer to Hangman Page to, maybe try and get him to sign with Matt Hardy. Obviously, Matt Hardy, right now is doing money, big money. Matt Hardy, of course, man, always making money, and it's a great character, to be honest. I do like it, and this was a short but good match, and I think a tour de force from Adam Page. And again, no matter if he's singles wrestler or tag team wrestler, he is just one of the best all-round wrestlers in AEW. He can do everything and make it look good. And when you're going to be tagging with Matt Hardy, one of the most revered and best tag team wrestlers ever, you're going to get good chemistry. And despite the fact this wasn't the longest match, it was a good match. Chaos Project, again, always entertaining to watch, but this was a match for Hangman Page and Matt Hardy to kind of continue their little relationship, shall we say. But good tag match, nothing wrong with it. Next match was the Lumberjack match. Now, this match I was looking forward to, between Eddie Kingston and Lance Archer, continuing their feud. Now, when I first heard these two were going to be facing each other, I thought, oh, this is going to be fun. This match was even more fun, to be honest. And the Lumberjacks doing some unusual stuff in the ring, and it was the most bizarre Lumberjack matches, but in a great way I've ever seen. Tables were involved, beatings on the outside, but this was a great Lumberjack match. And Eddie Kingston won the first match, Lance Archer won this one, so it puts it at one match apiece. So I'm thinking there will be a rubber match down the line, but as in the first match, I absolutely loved what these two did with each other. One of the hardest hitters Eddie Kingston against one of the biggest guys in AEW, and also an unstoppable monster, Lance Archer. You're going to get a great match. The Lumberjack match I thought was better than the first match. The first match was great. This match was better, and I really loved the chemistry between these two. It works. But a guy like Eddie Kingston in a match with Lance Archer, you're going to get great chemistry, and you got exactly that. And for Lumberjack match, it made it even more interesting because of what happened last time. Obviously, the outside interference from money didn't happen this match, but boy, did it really, really pay off. This was a superb match, and please let this feud continue. That's what I'm going to say, because I want to see it continue. It's been great to watch. Next match was the main event. It was Death Triangle and Jon Moxley versus the Good Brothers and Kenny Omega. Now, of course, those who know saw in an angle, it was the Good Brothers beating on, and I think it was Kenny Omega as well, beating on Penta to make sure it can be in the feud as it is with Death Triangle, Good Brothers, Kenny, and of course Jon Moxley. So it was interesting to see, Jon Moxley tagging with Ray Finks and Pac, but you know what? All for it. I couldn't really fault that. And of course, on the other side, you've got a One Man's T-shirt, Kenny Omega and Good Brothers. They didn't call themselves the Bullet Club in this match, which was unique. But, of course, three guys who know each other so well have tagged together multiple times in the past, and of course did it tonight. And this was an excellent main event. This was the match of the night. On a night there was some superb matches, but this was match of the night. All six men just put on an outstanding performance, and I still think, you haven't seen the best of this feud, and this was no except, and I want to continue. But the way all six of these men went and just didn't really stop throughout the whole match, it was non-stop, was excellent. And a great way to end the match was the pinfall once again from the Good Brothers, getting the Magic Killer. Of course, two guys who don't work at AEW, they're Impact contracted wrestlers. Getting the pinfall was the right way to go. And continuation of I would say feud at this point between Impact and AEW, and it was great. And as to say, Pac was on fire this match, and he's always really, really good. I've been watching him for a long, long time, but on this match particularly, he was great. Probably one of his best performances in AEW to date, and that's saying something because he's had some great performances. Overall, though, an excellent six-man tag match and the right way to end the show. And I knew it would be the main event because obviously of all 6 men involved, and then what happened after the match is really got people talking. Once again, some things you just don't expect in wrestling, and I think, I will say in the back of my mind, I've wanted this for some time. Now, for those who know, um, John Moxley is the IWGP US Heavyweight Champion for New Japan. And Kenta, who wrestles for New Japan, is part of the Bullet Club, has a contract to compete for that title. So after the match, someone jumps in the ring, hood over his face, so mask over his face, hood up, takes off the hood and mask. It's Kenta who gives the go to sleep to John Moxley. And I won't lie to you, the fan inside of me just went, yes! As much as I love John Moxley, Kenta is one of my favourite wrestlers of the last few years because he's also one of the, I always say this now, at the time of recording this, I've never seen him wrestle live. He's one of the 3 men I want to see wrestle live. I've never seen wrestle live. One being him, one being Kenny Omega, one being Kazuchika Okada. 3 of my favourite wrestlers, never seen any of them live. But anyway, this was a superb way to end Dynamite. And of course, opening up the doors for a New Japan AEW working relationship, which is what I think a lot of people wanted for a while. Obviously now obviously because of the pandemic they couldn't do it, but now obviously New Japan do shows in the United States. They have the LA Dojo, and they do shows there. And Kenta does appear on those shows they do for New Japan Dojo in Los Angeles often. So the members of Bullet Club. So to see a member of the Bullet Club, yes, he's facing John Moxley, but it's seeing in AEW and knowing what impact, say, what the Good Brothers and Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks have been doing, it's going to be intriguing to see if we're actually going to see, this is for me, I'd love to see it, Bullet Club versus Bullet Club. Now, there was one disadvantage, of course. Bullet Club in Japan have a lot more members. But if this happens, I just think it's going to be something that's going to set the wrestling world alight. And this could very, very well happen. But still, if it doesn't, all good. But to see the relationship is amazing. As someone who loves New Japan Pro Wrestling, someone who loves AEW, I am really, really looking forward to this. And I know it's happened before. I was saying it on video. Kenny Omega versus Okada once more. Even for the AEW title would be, well, if those who've seen the matches between Okada and Omega, you know. That's what you need to say, really. But as I say, that was a cracking way to end a superb episode of Dynamite this week. And this, as I said, Dynamite, so AEW this year, it has been firing on all cylinders in the right way. And it's going to continue, I think, yet another superb show. So, with that being said, that is it for this review. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time for next week's episode of Dynamite. But until then, take care, everybody. Bye-bye.